So yesterday in the Bloodhound workshop, we had built the signals for this inside bar pattern detection here, right? This multi-time frame inside bar pattern. And we generated signals that will occur in real time while the bar is forming, depending on whether the market approaches the inside bar high, identifying that the market appears to be breaking towards the upside, or if the market approaches the low price of the bar, right, then that's indicative of the market potentially breaking to the downside, and that would generate a short signal, right? So we have possible long signals and short signals that can print on the same bar while it is forming. And so we're going to get BlackBird to place an order at the bar high. So this is not an inside bar. Let me mark this here. Well, all right, so we're on this bar now. All right, so this is clearly not an inside bar, but we're going to use it because it's right next to the bar that's forming, right? So when price is near the bar low, right, Bloodhound's going to generate a short signal, and we're going to get BlackBird to place a stop entry, one tick or 1 penny below the low price of the closed inside bar. But then if the market moves up, then Bloodhound would generate a long signal in real time. And so we would then have BlackBird place a buy stop entry order, 1 penny or 1 tick, above the high price. So here's kind of a better example, right? So price is in the middle. So with price near the high, right, we're going to get BlackBird to place a buy stop, at the high of that closed bar. And, if price then moves back down, like it looks like it might be doing, then a sell stop entry order would be placed at the low price of that closed bar. As the market is oscillating, or if the market oscillates up and down on the forming bar, then BlackBird would end up flip-flopping its entry order, from a buy stop to a sell stop, and so on and so forth, right? Let's see here. So one thing I need to adjust with BlackBird is actually, you know what? Yeah, I have the wrong workspace open, but no problem. So let me just quickly, remove Bloodhound from the chart. There we go. All right, I'll just take Bloodhound off the chart there. So to get BlackBird, to operate and see those signals in real time while the bar is forming, we need to change the calculate mode of BlackBird, as required by NinjaTrader. So we're going to go into the strategies window and select BlackBird in the configured window, and you can see that you can't change any of the settings. NinjaTrader does not allow you to change any of the settings of a strategy when it is enabled. So we need to disable the strategy first. And now you can see NinjaTrader now allows you to modify your settings once your strategy has been disabled. So we need to change the calculate mode to on price change so that BlackBird can see those Bloodhound signals intra-bar while the bar is forming. Right? So now let's enable it, get it back up and running. There we go. So, all right, so let's open up BlackBird and let's kind of set things up, and then we'll do some testing here. So the first thing we'll do is we'll plug in our Bloodhound signals here. Right. So from this menu in the Bloodhound templates there, that's where we need to load in our Bloodhound template file, right? So we're going to use the ellipses button there with the 3 dots. And we can see that opens up the Bloodhound interface. Then we're going to go to File, and we're going to select yesterday's workshop file there that has our signals for today's topic. There we go. And we can see that this is actually a multi-time frame system here, right? So it's using a default time frame, which the default time frame is the chart, which yeah, this was supposed to be a 5-minute chart and a 10-minute chart, but in order to kind of test in order to test BlackBird placing the entry orders and everything, we're going to have to tweak the Bloodhound signals so that they occur, immediately. Obviously we can't sit around and wait for this inside bar pattern to form. It may never form today, but yeah. So just making note here, right? This is a multi-time frame system here. So once you have your Bloodhound template file loaded, it's always a good idea to go to the Logic tab and take a look at our logic templates here. And you want to make sure that everything looks like it is connected up correctly. For example, right, we can see there's 2 nodes over here not connected. Is that correct? Should those nodes have been connected up somewhere? Was this template left in an improper state? Should I be connecting these in somewhere or not? Yeah, I know that actually those nodes were just something a little extra added in there, just as a little tip there. So they're not actually a part of the original question, that was answered here. So, well, let's see, let's move Bloodhound out of the way. There we go. Yeah, so those 2 extra nodes there are not actually part of the system here. So they're not supposed to be connected up. But, the point is, make sure everything looks like it's connected up correctly. And so, yeah, we can see that it is. All right, so once everything looks good, then we can click the OK button. And next, select our entry signals. So there's only one logic template, only one question in yesterday's Bloodhound workshop. So we'll select our logic template for the entry signals. And there were no exit signals as a part of the question. So we'll just leave that unchecked and blank. And so once we have that, then we can click OK. And BlackBird down here is going to tell us that we need to restart the strategy so that it can get the Bloodhound template loaded in here. So let's do an F5 and reload. There we go. All right, so there's Bloodhound again on the chart, and it's reloaded that new file, and we can select our entry logic template if you want to from the top of the chart here. And let's see here. Let me double check. That was, oh, right. Yeah. So yeah, we have a long and a short signal. Because we're on a 1-minute chart, yeah, that is possible. So the close of this bar is within 5 ticks of the high, and it's within 5 ticks of the low. Yeah, so that was discussed in yesterday's Bloodhound workshop there. Yeah. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, here we go. So let's just take a quick look. So that would be our inside bar here, right? And the close of the bar was within 5 ticks of the high, and so therefore, you know, this bar closed with a long signal, right? So yeah, I mean, just a quick note, this is all mentioned in yesterday's Bloodhound workshop, but you know, because this is a real-time system, you're not going to see correct historical signals. Most real-time systems do not display correct historical signals, right? So so every once in a while you might see a historical signal, but most of the time you probably won't. And let's see if I can find, well, yeah, here's another one. So let's see. That would be our inside bar, and the close of the bar is within 5 ticks of the high. So that did leave a historical signal on the chart. Yeah, let's take this one for example. You know, this is an inside bar on the 1-minute chart. So whether or not it's an inside bar on the 10-minute chart, but I just want to point out, let's just assume that this is, you know, an inside bar. But and so if we look at the signal bar here, right, the close of this bar is, you know, more than 5 ticks away from the low. So this would not leave a historical signal, right, because the close of this bar is too far away. You know, so this is just to kind of illustrate, you know, that don't expect to see accurate historical signals when, you know, when you're dealing with a real-time system here. Right. So particularly, yeah, if it's a multi-time frame and a real-time system. So okay, so anyways, enough about the Bloodhound signals. Let's get back to BlackBird here. So so we have our Bloodhound signals loaded in, and next let's set up our entry order, right? So this, as mentioned, is going to place a stop entry at either the high or the low of the inside bar, right? So let's open up our entry signals, and we're going to go into the initial placement. Right? So if a long Bloodhound signal comes in, then we want to place our stop order at the high of the bar, and we want it to be plus 1 tick, right? So you know, we see here that we're supposed to place the stop order at, you know, 1 penny above the high, 1 penny above the high. So of course 1 penny, well, that depends on the tick size of the instrument, right? So you would assume, or one could assume, you know, that this is referring to either a stock, or it could be referring to the oil futures contract, you know, or maybe a commodity such as wheat, orange juice, you know, heating oil, something like that, you know, futures contracts that trade in 1 penny increment. Although a lot of commodities will trade in fractions of a penny. So so you just have to keep in mind, you know, how many ticks is a penny. And so we're just going to assume that this is like a stock, you know, so 1 penny would be 1 tick, you know, or the oil contract. So, you know, if you're trading Forex, then 1 penny would be what, 1,000 ticks, I think, or 1,000 pips, I think, for Forex, something like that. So you will have to do some translation from currency, the currency of 1 penny, to how many ticks that is for that instrument there. All right, and we need to go back here. So we're going to place the stop entry at either the high or the low of the bar, depending if it's a long trade or a short trade. But it's going to be 2 bars back, right? Because remember, the signal is going to occur on the bar that's forming, right? So the bar that's forming is going to be a look-back period of 1, right? A look-back period of 1 is the bar that's forming, because BlackBird is running in real time. So the calculate mode for BlackBird is on price change. So that means, prices, the prices that are referred to start with the forming bar, not the closed bar, right? So if your calculate is on bar close, then you can only refer to the prices of closed bars. But when your calculate is on price change or on each tick, then you actually start referring to the bar prices of the forming bar. So that's why we need our look back period to be 2. So that way we're looking back 1 bar to the closed bar, right? And the closed bar is going to be that inside bar, right? So yeah, what this is referring to is the, it says right there, the inside bar high, right? And so the inside bar is going to be closed. It's going to be a closed bar. So therefore, yeah, we need to make sure that we have our look back period set correctly, right? And that's going to be 2. And that's it. So that's all we needed to do, was to set up the high price, look back period of 2, put in our 1 tick offset, and that is our entry order. Now something else that we should do is, let's see if I can find this again here. Yeah, okay. So let's look at these 3 bars here just before, right, this long and short signal here, right, these 3 bars. So let's assume this up bar is our inside bar. It is an inside bar on the 1 minute chart here, but let's assume this was the inside bar. And so, the next bar also was an inside bar, right? So if we were placing a stop entry order at the high or the low, this inside bar, well, it never would have been picked up, right? Because the market never did break out of the inside bar, right? So the signal bar, this would be the signal bar, and the signal bar never broke out, of the inside bar. So if that happens, there's a possibility that that the Bloodhound might still continue to generate signals on this kind of secondary inside bar, right? So basically we had an inside bar and another inside bar, right? So on the second inside bar, it's possible that Bloodhound signals might still occur, based on the second inside bar. Again, it all depends on the 10-minute chart, because remember, this is a multi-time frame pattern here. So it depends on the 10-minute time frame if it is still valid here for an inside bar. Then, we might get 2 inside bars in a row, and so Bloodhound might still generate entry signals. But, at some point, the Bloodhound signals are going to fail, and so we need to kind of be prepared in that we don't want to leave an entry order out there. So if the market never breaks out, we probably don't want to leave an entry order sitting out there at the market. So as a precaution, we should cancel our entry order if it does not get picked up, right? And so I think 2 bars would be I think 2 bars would be the correct would be the maximum number of bars that we could get Bloodhound Signals for. All right. So we'll cancel that entry order if for some reason the market just starts consolidating and never does a breakout. Right, we'll just cancel that entry order, and basically, you know, that setup there would, you know, just be a pass. You know, not a wash, but a pass. Yeah. So, all right. So we'll leave our cancel after on 2 bars like that. Right. And that would do it. Right. So let's test this. Now we need to test this out here. So let's see here. So I'm going to need to modify the signals here so that we can test this out. So what I'm going to do is just use this one solver there, like so. Right. So we can see that one solver is going to generate a bunch of signals. And man, the market is just like dead right now. Yeah, look at that. Market is not moving at all. Let me see if let me switch. Yeah, let me switch instruments here. See if we can find an instrument with some volatility. All right, well, the NQ has a little more volatility. And yeah, if we watch this, let's see. Yeah, so there you go. Our long signal just disappeared and then fired back and it disappeared. So there. So with that, oh. And again, these really short bars like this are going to be kind of problematic. We really want these bars to be longer than 10 ticks. And on NQ, well, that's, yeah, 10 ticks is quite a bit. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to, oh, no, I'm going to go in here and, not in here. Let's go in here and let me make a quick adjustment here. We'll knock this down to 4 ticks, so it'll work a little better with those really small bars that today's building. So there. Okay. I need the market to kind of move towards the middle of the bar a little bit more. Well, I might have to switch over to a simulated data feed. Yeah, let's let this bar close here. There. Okay, so let's enable it. There we go. So, there we go. Bingo. Short signal, and hey, it got filled. All right. What a good test. All right, we kind of lucked out there. The market worked with us on this one. And bingo, we got that order, and it got filled. And voila. All right, let's cancel that. And let's see if this next bar might also work with this. So, all right, yeah, we got 20 seconds here for this bar to close. And there we go again. Short signal popped in, and our stop entry order was placed, like so. And what I'd really like to see is if hopefully the market will move up and generate a long signal. There we go. Come on, move up. Generate a long signal. And we want to see that entry order flip to a buy. Oh, shoot. So close. All right, let me cancel this. Cancel that order. And let's see if we'll get a buy. No, another. Oh, yeah. So you noticed how, right, a short signal popped in, but an entry order is not being placed. That's because I canceled that order on this bar that's forming here. And so BlackBird is not going to place any orders on that bar because of this option here. So allow re-entry on the same bar, right? So since I canceled an order on the bar that's forming, it's considered as already having, placed an order or, done some kind of order action on there. So we need to enable this allow re-entry on the same bar in order for our testing here. Just for our testing, right? So normally, I think under normal operations, we're not going to need this allow re-entry on the same bar. Right? So all right, good. So the market's making another long bar here, which is good for our testing. All right, let's enable it. There we go. Okay, so the market's in the middle. I enable it. So next time we get a signal here. So hopefully the market will move high enough to generate a long signal and then reverse and generate a short signal. All right, so there's a buy. And if the market could just pull back enough and generate a short signal, that would be a great test for us. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, that's good enough. So the next bar formed, and there we go. So we can see Bloodhound canceled the buy and replaced it with a sell stop entry. So there we have it. And, well, yeah, maybe the market will move higher, and we'll get a long signal on this same bar. Move higher for us. And not going to happen. All right. Well, yeah, there we go. So once again, on the next new bar, yeah, the sell was canceled and a buy was placed. So, all right. So there we go. So we were able to kind of test BlackBird, flip-flopping between buy and sell orders, based on the Bloodhound signals coming in there. Right. So let's go and correct our Bloodhound logic here. So let's connect up that result node correctly there. Like so. Okay, so just a summary here on a couple of key settings, right? So a couple of key settings is, since the breakout, either the breakup or the breakdown, the breakout, happens in real time. So, placing our entry order, at the bar high or bar low has to happen in real time. And so in order to do that, we need to have BlackBird running with the calculate set to on price change, right? So I know it's kind of hard to see when NinjaTrader disables all the settings here, but the calculate is set to on price change. So that calculate mode allows BlackBird and Bloodhound, right? So more importantly, the on price change is allowing Bloodhound to generate signals in real time on the bar that's forming, right? And then BlackBird can then in turn, place orders and cancel and replace, switch those orders, as the long and short signals come in. So that's a critical key point, to getting, this type of system to work correctly. Let's see what else. Yeah, no profit target or stop loss was mentioned. This question was all about getting the entries correct. So yeah, that's all there was to it. So that concludes this question here.